And so I'm going to stop beating around the bush right now and say that electrified vehicles are now in the mainstream. You get a choice between plug-in hybrids, electrified vehicles, and this one right here. And I'm going to tell you guys why this car might just be the best value proposition in that mind space. What's going on, guys? Roy Robles here from Zigwheels.Ph. Hold on to your hats because today we'll be reviewing the MG HS Hybrid Plus. Now, it has been a minute since we last reviewed an MG vehicle on the channel, and within that time space, the brand has actually experienced a lot of changes since then, introducing model after model, different types of vehicles for different types of users. So this is the MG HS Hybrid Plus. Now this one here is one huge SUV. It's a compact crossover SUV, same in line as a lot of, like say, the RAV4, the CRV, the Territory, but because of these thin headlamps right here with DRLs, MG calls this digital matrix lighting. And this kind of elongated grille right here at the bottom, you have a somewhat diminutive look despite the fact that you've got a huge hulking vehicle. It's longer, wider, but a little shorter than the outgoing MG HS. And that means it promises a lot of space on the inside and a plianter ride, but we'll be talking about that later on. What I most like about this front end here though is how MG hidden these particular sensors right here. You got 4 parking sensors right here in the front, but you'll be hard pressed to find it. And it's got a 360-degree camera system. And, I can't seem to find where it is, but there it is. They hide it. They've actually hidden it in plain sight, and you won't be able to notice that. It doesn't feel like they just tacked it on, but instead you got it right here. It's also got this pad right here that works with the advanced driver assist systems, or MG calls it MG Pilot. And this split front lower bumper here creates a sporty effect as well, kind of creating that kind of vortex effect that I think I absolutely love. My only gripe with this though is that, you know, the hood seems to be a little bit lower, and because of this particular corporate look that they're going after, it kind of looks squished together in the front, again mimicking that of the MG3, MG ZS. You got this huge MG badge right here. You got another camera for the MG Pilot system. Overall, it's a clean look, but I think in a future refresh, they might add a little bit of bulk, a little bit of heft for the MG HS. Now, if I'm looking for bulk and heft right here in the front, I think they put it all right here in the side profile of the MG HS. You got 19-inch blacked out alloy wheels right there, but because of this huge size that we got right here, it doesn't actually seem like 19 inches. It seems like 18s or 17s. So it seems like you could actually fit in larger wheels there if you do so choose, but it's gonna sacrifice those wheel wells that we have there, sacrificing a little bit of comfort, but that's fine. You got these piano black over fenders, those black plastic claddings all around, and instead of just giving it that matte black look, it now has this piano black look to it, meaning if you want to take this off-road, you might actually risk scratching up those over fenders in the process, which is no bueno. You've got this fall carbon fiber trim on the side, and you've got some subtle character lines moving right across the vehicle. Nothing fancy, nothing too dramatic, just creates this huge, sexy, muscular effect permeating right here in the rear end. Now you got this chrome trim right around the windows, a blacked out side mirror, a camera there as well, and this interesting looking trim on the side here. You would think that this serves a particular purpose, especially with this hole right here, or sometimes kind of looks like a circular pattern right here in the middle. Maybe they would plan to put a camera there in the future, but as it stands, it just breaks the monotony of the overall design right here on the side. You got roof rails on top, no worries, and a little bit of ground clearance, 162, 168 millimeters of ground clearance right there. My director actually saw some sort of exhaust right here underneath, but you shouldn't worry about that if you plan to take this off the beaten path. Now we arrived to my favorite part of the exterior of the MG HS, the rear end. The tail lamps right here, they actually call this, and it's inspired by the Shard Tower in London. And I think it's the second tallest building in the world. Now, I love the design of the tail lamp here. You've got a light bar running across the rear end. You seem to have some sort of patterns and layers upon layers of metalwork right here on the rear end, creating a very interesting design indeed, similar to a lot of European crossover SUVs for much less much less of the price. We'll be talking about that later on. I love how the rear end rakes this way, but it kind of creates some sort of, it kind of impedes the space a little bit on the inside. If you've got taller items right here in the back, you'll have to push it back. But as you can see right here, actually has keyless and kick support for the power tailgate. You got huge space on the inside, because why wouldn't you be putting some taller item right here? You got to push it right back there. You have 504 liters of space here in the back, and you got pockets on each side. You got a nice LED light right here. You got a tonneau cover to hide your things from prying eyes on the outside, and you got cubby holes underneath here as well. Unfortunately, this does not have a spare tire, donut or otherwise, but you do have a tire repair kit right there on the side. I think the battery is just too big to fit in a spare tire on the MGHS. If you need even more space, you can fold these rear seats flat in a 60-40 split configuration, giving you more than double of the space, 1,400 liters of space to be exact, which makes this one of the most cavernous crossover SUVs if you want to take this out camping and putting all of your stuff right here in the back. Just wrapping up everything on the outside, you got your Brit Dynamic badge right there. Of course, MG is proud of their British heritage and the Hybrid Plus badge underneath the HS logo. And while it has been a minute since we last reviewed an MG vehicle, I'd say that the fit and finish, the quality of the inside, doesn't seem to have changed a lot. It still has a lot of nice patterns, nice materials right here on the interior, which was quite evident in the previous models. Now, I do love this leather wrap steering wheel right here. It has one of those double D features where you got flat bottom and a flat top steering wheel here, and it is adjustable for both reach and rake. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be reaching that far off, and my own T-Rex arms are having a difficult time reaching out to it. If you want to check out the different drive modes or drive view systems right here, there's another button here to check your engine or your drive information. You got your vehicle status, your tire pressure monitoring system. Now, what I don't like about the interior, though, is the lack of physical buttons. You won't see any volume knobs, capacitive or otherwise, outside right here of this huge 12.3 touchscreen infotainment system. If you do want to change the volume, you'll have to switch it right here on the joystick or head over to the volume menu here, and then you have to lower it right here through this screen. Everything will happen through the screen. Thankfully, this is one of MG's newest user interfaces right here, and it's fairly easy to access. It's just that there's a couple of extra steps for you to take before you can actually do something right here on the screen, which is kind of a bummer. But what I do appreciate from MG, though, is that they gave you two custom buttons on the steering wheel, one on the left and one on the right. You can actually use that to change particular settings, or if you have a favorite setting, you just click on them and it can go ahead and easily access that particular menu right there on the screen or on the car. I've set it up for brake region, the brake region level, and the drive mode of the car, but we'll be talking about that later on. Now, it has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Unfortunately, it is not the wireless type. You do have two USB ports right here in the front, both USB-A. You have two USB-C ports right there in the back, but let's check that out later, and a 12-volt socket right here in the middle. Two cup holders and your shift knob. This knob controls the 2-speed direct hybrid transmission here for the MGHS. Right below that, you got your parking button and a automatic brake hold button and hill descent control. A wireless charger surprisingly makes a nice appearance right here. Well, one odd thing here, though, is that the part of the door card where your arm actually touches the door is hard plastic. instead of this soft plastic. Maybe if they switch these two materials right here, you'd have a better time. But that's okay. It looks great. You got these contrast stitching right here around the car, orange in this case here. You got the same thing right here on the nice seats here. The front passengers get electronic controls for their seats, with the driver having lumbar support, and oh, that is nice. The front passenger seats also have heated functions to it. Unfortunately, no ventilation, but you do have dual zone automatic climate control, which is a nice plus. So one interesting thing about the MGHS though is the placement of their lighting implementation. So you got your lighting stock right here on the left side. Now, there's so many times within the past week when they had this car where they actually left it on off, because it says right there off. So keeping the car off as it is actually activates the automatic headlamps of your car. So keeping it on, keeping it off, such as if you think it's already off, once you lock the car and forget about it, you're actually leaving the car right on. But because this is a hybrid vehicle and those lights are LEDs, it doesn't discharge the battery as much, but that's still quite a hassle and something that you have to think about. And this huge panoramic sunroof on top. One thing about that panoramic sunroof though is that the covering of the top portion right here is white. It has this grayish color scheme right here and doesn't do a bang up job with covering a lot of the light here. It kind of diffuses the light just a little bit instead of having to completely darkening it, which might be a issue for some people here. Let's take a look at the second row seats and see what we can find. So this is a pleasant surprise right here for the MGHS, but you still have a lot of space for my knees here. My feet are fine. There is quite a bit of a center tunnel situation right here in the middle, but that's not going to be a problem, and a lot of headroom, despite the fact that you do have a raked third rear there and a panoramic sunroof. So a lot of space. And you do have two USB-C ports right here, so you can fast charge your phones, and an air conditioning vent right here in the back as well. The MGHS does have a certain issue though, where upon starting your car, your vehicle, it takes a while for the air conditioning to spool up and cool down the interior of the vehicle. But after a few minutes, that's not going to be a problem. It's just not going to be a quick cool situation for the interior. And out of the factory, out of the dealership, also has these privacy tint here for the rear passengers. Not so much for the front passengers, but you do get privacy tint right here for the rear passengers as well. You also have a center armrest with two cup holders. All right, so we're now behind the wheel of the 2026 MGHS Hybrid Plus. This is the only variant in the line, so no need to choose between which variant you're going to choose, something that has a lower power output without a hybrid. Nope, this is the only variant in the line, which makes things a lot less complicated when you're choosing a crossover SUV from MG. Under the hood, a hybrid engine. It's got a 1.5 liter turbocharged hybrid engine that makes 224 horsepower and 340 newton meters of torque, powering the front wheels. And making sure that all that power goes to the front wheels as efficiently as possible, you got a 2-speed DHD, or direct hybrid transmission, right here. So no need to count speeds, just 2 speeds will do. All right, so you have 3 drive modes to play with. You got comfort, normal, and sport. Now, each of those drive modes also has its own individual steering weight that actually helps you with your particular drive, customizing the way you drive your MGHS. Now, with comfort, it ensures that, well, the power is a little bit nerfed down as usual. Normal is your standard one, but once you hit sport, by clicking on one of my customized buttons right here, let's go to sport. Okay, the engine seems to be more than willing to push itself forward like this, but since we're driving into the limits, it's going to be a little bit chill in our drive right here. But once you're out on the highway, oh boy, it can make sure that you are safe by saying that you can keep up with traffic, and if you want to overtake a couple of slow trucks and buses on some little highway roads, you can do so in this, so no problems with that. It can most definitely keep up at highway speeds. For the suspension setup, you've got independent suspension all around, McPherson struts in the front and multi-link in the back. The NVH levels on the MGHS is superb, phenomenal even. I mean, just by the fact that by closing the doors itself, it gives you this solid thunk to it. I mean, that gives you an idea of how quiet this is going to be. Now, it also does a great job with insulating the sound coming from the engine bay, because of course this is not a full electric vehicle, it's a hybrid, and you can barely feel the transition between electric and ICE in this car, which is a good thing, especially if you're looking for a hybrid vehicle. So it's nice. I mean, the noise is isolated on the outside. It's perfect. I mean, once you're driving around, this is one of the more solid crossovers in the market today. It actually feels like it's punching above its weight class, especially at this price point. And it's solid, refined, pretty good. Now, fuel economy in the MGHS Hybrid Plus isn't going to be as good as a lot of the other hybrids in the market, but considering its weight, its power, it's still pretty stellar. I mean, in the city, I get around 13 kilometers per liter. That's right, 13 kilometers per liter in heavy city traffic. And out on the highway, it gets even better. 18 to 19 kilometers per liter on the highway. And that's without even me trying to do my best fuel economy run out there. That means in real world situation, so you will definitely get twice the amount of fuel economy as you would if you would be driving around in an MGHS that's a non-hybrid. Safety features for the MGHS include a complete suite of smart and advanced driver assist systems, and MG calls it MG Pilot. In fact, the MGHS has two 5-star NCAPs from Europe. You got the Europe NCAP and the Australian NCAP, which makes it one of the safest compact crossover SUVs currently being offered in the market today, and they're pretty proud of that. What's included in MG Pilot? Well, for starters, you got 3 kinds of cruise control. You got normal cruise control. If you want to deal with a more adaptive cruise control, you do have that here as well as intelligent cruise control, which actually helps you with steering from lane to lane. If it detects some sort of obstacle on the road ahead, it moves out to the other lane. And it's pretty smart. It's actually one of the smarter adaptive cruise control systems that I've experienced here. It actually feels like you're driving yourself. It also has rear cross traffic alert whenever you back up. You've got blind spot monitoring systems, lane keep assist, lane departure warning, forward collision assist, proximity sensors all around. Yep, this definitely delivers in the safety department, as well as multiple airbags on the inside. Pretty good, pretty safe. So there you have it, boys and girls, our full review of the MGHS Hybrid Plus. At 1,398,888 pesos, it totally undercuts every other compact crossover SUV in the market, hybrid or otherwise, which gives you this particular problem. It's going to be a good problem though, but it makes you choose between which brand or which SUV you're gonna get. But if you do plan to get on an MGHS Hybrid Plus, I don't think you'll be regretting it anytime soon. But what do you think? Drop me a comment in the comment section down below, and while you're at it, subscribe to our channel and hit that notification icon so you won't miss any of our videos. This has been Roy Robles of Zigwheels.Ph. I'll see you guys next time.